Sitting in my Durban storeroom with over 1,000 kilograms of glass beads crammed to the rafters and jammed into boxes, I ask, what do you want to become? And the material does speak to me. It wants to be itself. Do as little as possible, it says. Lay me out in a single file. Weave me together in a single stitch. Balance me on my tips. Go on like that for miles. There will be no more building of elaborate fortresses or structures. I've given up those plans. Furrow down with me to the undergrowth. Here is Nomolungisa, whose face is molten rock. The wind and tears have swept away the softness of her face, and now she is angular, ancient, resolved. She tells me resignedly that her hands are too large and the beads are too small. Her work is crooked, misshapen, and what about the strange discoloration and the wonky strings with loose beads across the top? If I reject her work, her family won't eat, and as it is, she seems to be living on the margins of life and death. Yet, if I accept the work, I don't have an artwork. Or do I? Not what I intended, but instead what the work wants to become. I saw one thing in my mind, and something else emerged. A very tight, controlled process yields streaks and stains, and even blood. Life and death contained in an art process. Labor that can never be comprehended or even appreciated. An art that speaks of its own struggle into being. My desire for perfection and the beauty that comes from letting go. Agnes could have told me that. For all her asceticism and classicism, she wrote, "Perfection is not necessary. Perfection you cannot have. If you do what you want to do and what you can do, and if you can then recognize it, you will be contented. You cannot possibly know what it will be, but looking back, you will not be surprised at what you have done. Look, it's right in front of you." Maybe this is what the material has wanted to be all along. It was there in the early work, behind all the structure and set pieces, a wallpaper pattern that had gone wrong, or a pocked floor texture, evidence of a human hand. And I see now that the work is like Nomolungisa. It too is molten, ancient, resolved. There's been the stripping away through time and loss and acceptance of the limitations of body and mind. And what remains is what is, the simple truth of the sweat of our hands, and the dirt, and the dust, and the saliva, and the tears, and the blood, and the ashes. All of it in art material laid across the miles.